What's up, everyone? Out in the shop, let me fill you in on what's going on. So I've been making some of these trays, and they're like, cherry. I've made some that are walnut. Those are inside. Cherry and walnut, basically, because those are the two nicer domestic hardwoods that I can get fairly cheap. So there's one tray, but let me bring you in here. You can hear my CNC spindle is running because I just finished up another one. Take a look at this. This is actually two of the same type of tray. And then down there, I was gonna make three, but there's a split in the wood right over there. So I cut this out, and to try to save as much as I could, instead of from here over being wasted, I just cut this out as a circle. So this is still good. That's the only piece that's wasted over there. So now that this is shut off, I come and use my keyboard bring up the keyboard controls, and I can raise it and move this out of the way on my CNC so that I'm able to access my little hold down clamps. This is kind of the most simplest form of a hold down clamp, is just screwing it directly to the spoil board, which is what I did down here at the end. But like an idiot, I didn't pre-drill a hole. So that just split the wood, which caused me to lose this part of the tray. And then these are just some pieces of scrap Purple Heart. Again, kind of overkill, but just some scrap pieces. And I cut a dado, or I guess a rabbit, on one edge and then pre-drilled some holes. But it looks like even the pre-drill caused that wood to split. So let me get these clamps off of here, shake out some of the sawdust, and then what I'll do is I'll take these back over to the bandsaw, finish the cut, because I don't use tabs or anything. I just cut it a little short on the CNC. So I'll finish the cut on the bandsaw and then use a flush trim bit in the router to clean up the edges, and then sand it and then put finish on it. Okay, so this one's stuck down, and the screw just spins freely. So I don't know if the screw head is snapped off or what. I don't know why it's doing that. But let me see if I can get that off of there. Oh yeah, that's exactly what happened. That has been snapped off. So now I have just a freaking screw that's halfway in and half not in. Let me show you here. And it has no screw head. But I have a trick for this. Hang on a second. So if this happens to you, take your bit out of your drill and just have a blank chuck. Put this on here and tighten up your chuck around the screw. So basically your screw is like your drill bit, and then just back it out. And then the screw comes out. So here you can see that some of the tray has been finished cut. Some of it has not, even though they're all cut here. So I'm just going to use a bandsaw to rough cut these out. It doesn't have to be perfect because I don't want to cut into my finished edge here. And then again on this one, I'm just cutting out the circle. And now I'll use this flush trim bit to get these edges perfect. So the bearing will ride on the good edge that was carved by the CNC, and that little piece that was rough cut down there at the bottom will be trimmed off by the router bit. So the whole bowl will be perfect, or the whole tray will be perfect after I'm done trimming them on the router. Okay, so now the trays are perfectly smooth on the sides. What I think I'm going to do is use a handheld router with a round over bit and just do a quick round over on the bottom edge. Beautiful. Now there's a round over on this bottom edge. Now I'll just kind of scuff sand these up a little bit just to get rid of some of the sharp edges and the fuzzies on the edges, and put them over here to get ready to put finish on. These do not need much sanding because that CNC bit does an amazing job. Okay, so now for finish, I'll just use this stuff. You can get it at Home Depot and Lowe's. I think it's nice because literally you can't mess it up. You just put some on there and then use a paper towel to kind of rub it in. And then any excess, just wipe it off. And then it will take a minute to dry, but it's primarily oil. It's just oil and wax. It'll take a minute to dry, but the oil will soak into the wood and then come back, and it doesn't take long to dry. Come back maybe 15, 20 minutes later, and if there's any excess, just wipe it off. And then literally you're done. And it kind of smells good. So this is what my choice is for using finish for things like this. So I'll just kind of get around the edges down in the tray portion and then go around, of course, the outside edges. And then I could probably use a little bit more here on the back. And by using a nicer hardwood like walnut, cherry, maple, whatever, not so much maple, but mainly cherry and walnut, it really makes the grain look pretty nice. So this tray is now done. We'll just let it dry. Okay, so what else has been going on in my shop? My brother's cabinets are officially complete. The only thing left to do, and it's still some work, but is to build the drawer boxes. We're not doing doors, we're not doing drawer fronts. My brother's gonna order those, but the drawer boxes themselves I do have to make. However, with drawer boxes, it's kind of easy. I mean, it is a lot of work, but it's not complex because the CNC will cut out all the parts, and then I just use a dado stack, dado blades in the table saw to cut a groove for the bottom piece to slide into, a couple of pocket holes on the Craig Foreman, and yeah, then the drawers are done. I'm using the undermount drawer slides, the Bloom style. They're not Bloom brand, but where there's just clips and they're really easy to install. So drawer boxes, the reason I haven't done those yet is I did probably 8 of them for my brother's master bathroom, and he's going to test the sizes and then let me know if they fit. And if they do, then I'll continue on marching forward with getting the drawer boxes made there. Still selling a lot of hardwood online, still selling plywood. It is a little bit slow right now. I don't know why, but it is a little bit slow, but still doing that. And then I have another project that I'm kind of working on that can't really talk about yet. It involves a patent and stuff. So hopefully you'll hear about that sometime soon. And then of course, flying airplanes, as you've been seeing on this channel, is my hobby. That's how I spend my money. This is how I make my money. And at least hopefully some side money while juggling a full-time job. So anyways, thanks for watching. Be sure to like down below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.